that have revealed a Japanese operation targeting Port Moresby in New Guinea. Realizing its importance as a base for future operations, Navy Command has decided to send all available aircraft carriers to the Coral Sea. Now, it looks pretty rough right there. Definitely a rough battle. So we're going to jump in here for the Battle of the Coral. I think primarily a naval battle, I'm not sure. But we'll have to see. Yeah, the reason Belgian beer is I always say Pacific 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going by my time, and it's a good time for me. But if you guys actually think that we should change the stream to something earlier or later, we're always open to that. I really don't mind. All right, let's start the briefing. Japanese were expanding their operations on the Solomon Islands and are threatening our lines of communications with Australia. We can't have that. That's unacceptable, it is. Their most recent conquest is the small island of Tulagi. Aerial reconnaissance revealed the communications of a seaplane base immediately after. And deploy your carrier forces in this area to launch a strike against the Tulagi construction group. Alright. More pressing matter, however, is the reports of a Japanese invasion sailing for Port Moresby. A Navy task force has been dispatched to counter this threat and will soon arrive from the west. Enemy aircraft carriers also operate in this area and will certainly support the operation. Oh boy. Alright. While it is of utmost importance that we protect Port Moresby, we should also use this opportunity to destroy with a vital part of the enemy fleet. So, that's going to be obviously a secondary objective. In this case, this is just deployment. We need to destroy at least one Japanese aircraft carrier. We need to keep at least one carrier alive, and we need to protect Port Moresby from invasion. So, doesn't sound too difficult, but obviously it is. Now, we also are getting swimmer units. These allow us to basically transport troops from one side of the battle to the other. I think that's pretty awesome, and I definitely don't want to forget these great ships we had from last game. So we're going to be dropping these guys in the water very quickly. In fact, could I get the Warhawk out here? We need to get one of our other ships. Let's get a few subs out. Who doesn't like a good submarine, right, guys? And let's see, perhaps, wouldn't mind one of those nice amphibious units that they mentioned. But I think we'll just stick to this basic stuff for now. Actually, let's see how this works. So we go to infantry, and I'm wondering if we take the U.S. Marines. No, that's not going to be the transport. Let's take a look at the cruiser, battleship. Because this is a very new actual area for me. I'm going to see. I mean, just trying it out. We're going to take the U.S. Heavy Infantry purchase. No, we can't. And actually, that's my reminder that the stream is starting. So we started a little bit early, possibly, but that's okay. No, nothing there. So we're just going to focus on essentially getting our ships out here. And remember, protecting Port Moresby is our main concern. The rest can wait. There we go. Beautiful. Deployment is ready. We're going to go ahead and get the game started. So Vengeance, one of the surviving battleships from the Pearl Harbor raid, is present with our fleet today. Its crew is eager and ready to extract some sweet revenge. And that would feel pretty awesome. Also, this plane, wow, the Kingfisher. I don't think I'm used to it, but I think judging by the name, I can assume what it does. Actually, it's a reconnaissance class unit. So this Kingfisher actually can't capture enemy or victory points, but it operates on full supply in enemy territory and can obviously spot enemy units at a greater distance. Let's get these ships moving forward. And I'll zoom in a little more for you guys. I don't know if you prefer zoomed in or zoomed out. Hope you guys prefer zoomed in. And of course, I want to take a quick look at where Port Moresby is, guys. It's going to be a ways away. All the way over here. So we're going to start sending this fleet that away as quickly as possible. Hey, Araman, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, my friend. So we're playing the Coral Islands raid, Araman, as the Allies, trying to do our best to destroy the Japanese foe. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to see. We're going to actually start moving everybody at this point. And I'm not even sure why we got those amphibious vehicles if we can't deploy them. Or possibly I just don't know how to deploy them. But I know that once you actually have an infantry unit, you can turn it into an amphibious vehicle from land. Maybe that's what we need to do. I'm not sure. Let's go, boys. A lot of these guys are from the original battle that I played For those of you that have been to my channel, you will see that particular battle, the original Battle of the Coral Sea, or at least part 1. Let's go ahead and end here and see if the enemy has anything to say to us. We will continue. I believe we just did the island hopping. That's a good question. So this is probably just a straight-up naval battle. As you can see here, we need to destroy a Japanese carrier. We need to protect Port Moresby from invasion. So I think this is going to be a lot of, essentially, naval battles here. The old tanker Neosho has completed its task of refueling our fleet. Neosho? Are we Japanese? That's a very strange name for an American ship. And will now retreat from the area. One destroyer will provide an escort for its journey. Alright, fair enough. No big deal. I'm going to keep moving towards Port Moresby. The last thing we need is our Australian supply lines cut off by the Axis. It's just not going to do anything good for us, so we have to move forward. We've got to continue full steam ahead, as they say. Yeah, and it's funny because people seem to, and actually let me take a look at, we have 11 viewers. By the way, welcome everybody. We generally have a few more viewers for our Order of Battle Pacific streams, and one thing that I find funny is they most of them want to see the naval battles. Me personally, I'm more of a land battle infantry kind of guy, but I can understand this being Order of Battle Pacific, why people would prefer to watch the naval conflict. Otherwise, we'd be fighting in the jungles of Burma, but not today. Let's continue forward. So far, I mean, we look awesome, I must say. Just our invasion fleet, or our defense fleet, really, looks ready to stand up to the task, right, guys? Well, it may or may not be. The enemy is sending an entire fleet to counteract us, and whether or not they're going to be able to put up a good fight, we have yet to see. End our turn. Hey, Pat, how you doing, my friend? Pat Garrett here, of course, from Counterattack Studios. Awesome game company, you should check it out. Okay, here we go. Keep at least one carrier alive. Very well. So far we're doing fine on that. And this is the tanker. Now, we could help them as a bonus objective, but I'm just one of those, you know. Forget statistics. It's all about victory. If we lose an oil tanker, oh well. I'm really more concerned about getting to Port Moresby as soon as possible, because I don't need the enemy invading, and I'm not sure what we're going to do if they have amphibious vehicles, if we're going to have to get some of our own. But right now, we attack on all fronts. Let's see if we're going towards, we may be going towards an island chain before we hit Port Moresby right here, and of course Port Moresby is over here. So if that happens, no biggie. But I would assume that that area would be populated by enemy ships, AA guns, something. So we need to be very careful on approach. Don't forget, we've got one of the ships from the Pearl Harbor battle in this fleet just to get some extra revenge on the enemy, the Imperial Japanese Navy. And I believe we're good on movement. Let's make sure. Yep. Looks pretty good to me. And we will end our turn. Oh, we've got one more. And a sub. These subs are hard for even me to see. I can't imagine what the enemy must go through. So let's go ahead and end our turn. Oh. Thank you. Once again, another sub that I didn't move. That's a good question, Araman. I am not a historian, especially not when it comes to the Pacific battles. I do know quite a lot about the Western Front, Eastern Front of World War II. But if anybody wants to drop some info below regarding what it was about, I would be glad to read it here in full. So go ahead. And we'll talk about what the Coral Sea was about. Somebody mentioned it was mostly a carrier battle, and certainly the objective of this particular conflict right now is to destroy the enemy carriers and to stop them from invading Port Moresby. I mean, I can't imagine how awful World War II could have gotten if the Japanese had managed to invade New Guinea or Australia. That would have been very, very, very scary, to say the least. I'm not really sure what would happen. I'm pretty sure the Australians would fight tooth and nail, but who knows what the ultimate outcome could be. Ah, interesting. So Comrade Luxembourg has just let us know, friends, that this is essentially the first battle where American and Japanese carriers got to face each other in open battle, which I think is, or in open water in this case. Pardon that awful pun. And here we are. We're going to continue, and hopefully we can destroy us some Japanese carriers. We're going to get some Jap carriers one way or the other, boys. Move back here. And of course, I need to be careful with my aircraft carrier too. I'm actually letting my guy stray too far from it. I should treat this like a baby. So from now on, I think I'm going to leave these guys here and wait for the carrier to catch up, because the last thing I need is enemy, bombers or ships or submarines, my goodness, attacking this guy. Because if we lose the carrier, we lose the battle. It's that simple. Who did we forget to move? Oh, in fact, this time it was not a sub, it was a plane. Fair enough. Oh, absolutely, yes. Japan would still lose, but it could be, for the Allies, a much more violent conflict for sure. And there we go. The Japanese bombers are already trying to destroy that ship right there. He's got to get over here. I feel a little bad that I didn't help him out, but you know what? It happens. Sorry, guy. Like I said, I'm going to let the aircraft carrier catch up, so I'm not moving these ships this turn. The rest of these guys I will move, and I'll move them directly to the west in the location of the port. And hopefully we don't come up or stumble across any enemies on the way. Or if we do, I really don't mind, because that's one of our objectives, is to see if we can destroy the enemy fleet entirely. Whether we can or can't, I don't know. Alright, beautiful. I might actually send one, I'm breaking my promise, but I might send one forward just as a sort of spotter, and in fact we'll grab our Kingfisher, because the whole job of this plane is to spot enemy movements, so let's move him forward, put him to some good use. Bit skeptical about recon units myself, and we'll end the turn. Oh, more unmoved units! Oh, okay, we know about those, so that's alright. Hello, MKN99. Good to see you at the stream, sir. MKN99 states that if Japan had won in the Pacific and destroyed the U.S. fleet, there would be no way to deliver the nukes. This is an interesting suggestion by MKN. Very, very interesting. Proximity alert! Some of our surface ships are moving dangerously close to Japanese territory in the north. It is strongly advised to keep distance from enemy naval forces to avoid a large-scale naval battle. Well, hell, that definitely lets us know that if we keep going this way, we could run into some Japanese. So I'm going to try to keep it to the south of these islands right here to make it to Port Moresby in the safest way possible. I mean, truth be told, I'm sure you guys would love to see a huge naval battle, but I don't want to get into one. I want to win this particular mission. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to Port Moresby, but let's say at a more relaxed pace and below that island chain. Now, if we run into the Japanese, we will engage. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I'd rather not. So let's go ahead and try to avoid them. We'll actually send one of our submarines to scout this area, see if he can find anything, and we'll keep moving the rest of our men forward. Here we go. I love when you guys get into World War II discussion during these streams. I think it's absolutely awesome, and I really appreciate reading it. Actually says here, Comrade Luxembourg mentions the USA had a huge industry advantage to make more ships than the US could. I think he meant the Imperial Japanese. Also, at the end of the war in Europe, the Soviets invaded Manchuria, which would have taken Japan's parent China. This is true, although something that you don't know. I do believe that the Soviets only invaded Manchuria after the bombs dropped. They had already surrendered to the Americans, but I don't believe the Soviets that the Japanese surrendered to the Soviets for quite a while after they surrendered to the Americans. I may be wrong on this, but I don't believe I am. So that, who knows? Would the Soviets have attacked had we not dropped the bomb? Maybe. Probably. The spotter plane has not spotted a damn thing. Alright, let's go ahead and end the turn. Oh, we've got some bombers, and of course those bombers are going after that poor little oil tanker. Alright, so we lost the oil tanker. That's a secondary objective, not too concerned about it. But we could try to destroy all enemy aircraft. Smoke on the water! Japanese aircraft have located and destroyed the oil tanker Neosho. Its slow demise is visible from miles away through the column of smoke and fire in the sky. Alright, intelligence from code breaking have confirmed that several Japanese carriers are operating around the Coral Sea, and we must find them before they can find us. And this is where it becomes a true game of cat and mouse, guys. We've got to find these guys, destroy them before they do anything to us at all. So let's go ahead and start looking for them, very simply. I'll send this Kingfisher off to the west, and there we go. We've already located some of the Japanese fleet. It's time to get into proximity, guys, and in fact, I see an enemy aircraft carrier right there. I'm going to keep my aircraft carrier pretty far back. Hate to sound like a coward, but in these situations, it's better to be safe than sorry. And we'll also move our spotter plane over here, see if we can spot any more. I'm going to leave that destroyer right there. I don't want him getting any closer or he's going to get destroyed. Destroyer getting destroyed. Hi, MKN, how you doing, man? Yes, indeed. Alright, here we go. So at least we've made contact with this Japanese fleet. And I think combat is going to start very, very soon here. And hopefully we're going to be the ones winning. I do believe that we may be able to outnumber them, but again, we're not seeing the whole fleet. So they could have a lot more guys there. Let me actually grab our sub as well as the battleship Colorado and move them forward. Because now that we found the enemy, I'm not too concerned about going to get that. Let's grab our aircraft carrier. He's moved. Everybody else is moved. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Ending the turn here. I hope our plane here doesn't get shot down. The Kingfisher. Battle stations, men. Hey, evil man. How you doing, man? As far as I know, none of the devs for Order of Battle Pacific are here. However, Pat Garrett from Cat Rabbit Games is here, and he is a dev. Some strike craft. A good idea, Arimon. Right now, I'm not sure if we can hit them, but here we go. While our pilots' experience grows as they learn to outclass their opponents, Japanese aircrew quality appears to decline from combat losses taken through earlier stages of the war. Hey, that's awesome. Okay, we're approaching, guys. This is where combat really begins. Obviously, they have begun to open fire on our Kingfisher, and we just can't have that. We can open fire. I really want to shoot at the aircraft carrier. I can't help myself. 0 damage! I mean, these things are not easy to hit. I will say that. Let's move this guy up a little closer. Once again, we didn't manage to get a hit on this damn aircraft carrier. We destroy one. We've essentially completed one of the toughest parts of the battle. I'm currently in their place for today. Let's put it that way. I am the developer's mouthpiece, as it were. So you can try to direct some questions to me, and I can do my best to answer them in regards to this game. Now remember, not all questions are equal. I know everybody tells you, maybe your school teachers when you were little children told you that you're a special snowflake and any question you ask can be answered. But unfortunately, I can't answer every question regarding future updates for this particular game. That's really something you have to ask the developers of the game themselves. I can give you some clues, but can't give too much information. All right, let's take a look here. Beautiful. We're approaching the Japanese with ferocity. We're ready to kill them. Aren't we ready to crush these Japanese guys? We're gonna finish them instantly. There will be nothing left after the American naval force is finished with these traitors, really. Well, I guess they're not technically traitors. Okay, here we go. So let's get the Kingfisher back. I'm flying him back to the aircraft carrier for repairs. And as you can see, this is going to make Aramon really happy. Excuse me, Comrade Luxembourg really happy. We do have planes. I've just been waiting to bring them out. I don't want to bring them out all at once, so now we're going to finally bring them out. Got the Dauntless, and the Dauntless can actually do some damage to, or defend against enemy aircraft. I'm not sure how good it's going to be on attack. We'll find out. Hello, Firefly Boy. How are you doing, my friend? MKN, is this the expansion? No, it is not. This is not Operation Sea Lion. Wait for the explosion stand before I answer your question. Looks like the Japanese have spotted us, too. Oh, wow. -2, and their aircraft carrier is also getting ready here. I didn't know an aircraft carrier had deck guns. We also see that the enemy is sending some troops from the west, and the northwest, and the north, guys. This could get nasty. As you can see, our Kingfisher has little to no real defensive capabilities. The Kingfisher's job is to take pictures. That's it. I would hate to be a Kingfisher pilot, I'll tell you that. Alright, a fleet of cruisers and destroyers have reached its destination airport, Moresby. They are tasked to intercept any Japanese transports and escorts headed for the town. Great. So we actually might not have to make it there. This is perfect. So I'm going to set these guys up around Port Moresby in such a way that we basically create a defensive wall here. And how are you doing, Firefly Boy? It's good to see you, man. And yes, this is not the tutorial. This is the base game, so you can totally have fun with this. And actually, I believe the tutorial. I may be wrong on this. I mean, the tutorial, the mod. I know for people that own the game, it was free. So for me, it was free. I'm not sure if you purchase the base game if you get the DLC for free, but I do believe you do. And I think it's actually a mod. I don't think it's DLC. So I think it's totally free. I may be wrong, so don't quote me. Here we go, guys. We're going to get our first hit with our New Orleans, and the New Orleans, of course, is one of my favorite ships, and we're going to open fire on the enemy aircraft carrier. 3 hits. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the kind of hits we need to destroy the enemy. As for our DD Gleaves, I'm actually going to try to fire a torpedo against the enemy ship, but before I do, I've got to get a little bit closer. Let's see if we can hit this guy for some damage. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we've also got this plane, the Dauntless. I'm pretty sure the Dauntless is a bomber. If somebody can correct me on that, that'd be awesome. And we're going to go ahead and try, and that little B next to the name is what really gives it away. But we really want to get our actual Wildcats out. These guys are our fighter planes. And there's no doubt we're going to have issues with enemy fighter planes in the future here. This guy up. And again, these guys are more or less useless unless we can get close enough to use torpedoes. That's why we need to get our destroyers up close and personal. Dive Bomber. Thank you, guys. Plastic Gangsta. Hello, Plastic Gangsta. Both have said Dive Bomber. Very cool. Kingfishers die easy, says Firefly Boy. They are cheap. Yes, they are. They are definitely cheap. But you know what? And this goes back to for those of you that have been to my channel. You guys see that my father from Vietnam does a lot of war stories over there for everybody's interest, enjoyment, whatever you want to say. And we got to keep in mind that even the guys that were in those planes taking pictures, and even the guys building the ships, those guys were all integral to the victory in the end. So we've got to have respect for the pilots of our Kingfishers. They basically have a plane with absolutely no defensive capabilities whatsoever, besides a tiny, crappy little machine gun on the back. So I would say these guys are brave, very brave. Okay, let's see. Get the rest of the Kingfishers back. As you can see, the enemy bombers really want them dead. They don't like recon. Japanese like, no recon, it is bad. Get it out of here now. Let's move battleships forward as well. And at this point, we are truly getting into a protracted naval battle. This is going to end one of two ways, with our fleet being eaten by sharks or their fleet being eaten by sharks. That's the only way it can end. We also have to make sure that we keep those units around Port Moresby on edge, because if the enemy at any point starts attacking with transport ships, we've got no troops to stop them, so we have to destroy them out in the open sea. All right, here we go. Pat Garrett asks, yes, exact. And Pat, I actually am not sure. Pat may very well be the developer here at for this particular game. I wasn't sure if Cat Rabbit was part of this. They very well might be, but he knows a ton about Slytherin products as well. I would trust his judgment 100%. And this would be a really tough game to put on iOS. It can be done. I'm sure that it might be done, but you know, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. Here we go. -2. Really nice start so far, guys. So we're doing okay. As long as the enemy doesn't get near my damn battleship, or excuse me, my cruiser, I will not be too upset with them. Just want to make sure we moved everybody. Yep. And that's what I'm really worried about, is that Japanese aircraft. They are just coming in from everywhere. Yeah, SVA is not, actually, thank you, Plastic Gangsta. I'll answer the question in a moment. The battle sounds are too loud. In a good way, though. Oh, they have gotten a nasty hit on our destroyer there. And here, their aircraft carrier is getting right into range of all our ships. I don't know what they're doing. This must be some sort of kamikaze charge via aircraft carrier, because we're going to blow the hell out of that thing. I'll tell you that right now. Oh! Nasty torpedoes. It looks like the enemy has more battleships to the north. That's not good. Oh, man. Things just got serious. Look at this, guys. Looks like the other Japanese force has found us. Anyway, to answer Evil Man's question, and actually Plastic Gangsta gave you a great answer. The troops that were stationed with my father, number one, my father did have South Korean troops stationed with him to guard his base in Vietnam. Yes, this is true. But the South Vietnamese troops you're referring to are called ARVN, much like Plastic Gangsta mentioned. ARVN would be the correct terminology, I guess. And as far as my father's concerned, in comparison to the South Korean troops that were defending his base, the ARVN were useless. Totally useless. So, yeah, it's interesting things like that during war, I guess. Alright, we're going to keep moving forward. And actually, I might target these guys. I'm going to get up right close and personal and hit them with a torpedo. I should be able to fire that torpedo. And maybe it's because we're not at the proper angle. That's possible. We'll open fire anyway. Took the carrier controls and are now charging into battle, says Firefly Boy. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Let's see if we could just take out this carrier right now. We're going to sink this little bastard. I certainly hope these guys on the CVL Shoho, I guess the CVL stands for carrier, are prepared to swim away from the sharks. Good luck, guys. There we go, guys. A special event. The Shoho burns. We have destroyed the Japanese light carrier Shoho. While not as important as their larger fleet carriers, any damage to Japanese carrier strength is always a welcome success. So apparently they have bigger carriers. Let's watch that little bastard sink. I can't help myself. Goodbye. Everybody say goodbye to the carrier. Wave goodbye, guys, to the screen. Goodbye, carrier. Goodbye. I hope that everybody drowns. All right, let's continue. Hey, it's war, guys. Come on. Next, I'm going to go ahead and open fire on the New Orleans. Excuse me, on the other enemy destroyer. And hopefully we could take him out, too. We've got a lot of firepower we can drop on this guy. Nice. As for this ship, the DD Gloves, I don't believe we have a home port where we can repair this guy. We can repair him out at sea here, but I don't think we're going to get a very good... We're only going to get +1 out here, so I'm actually going to retreat with him. Remember, we're not Japanese. Retreat is not dishonorable in our case. We're merely trying to get a better situational advantage, as it were. So I'm actually going to move over here. You guys will see why in a second. And I'm going to try to launch a torpedo. Nice! We still managed to do nasty damage to them. Wow, Plastic Gangster showed a really cool fact of this. Despite those carriers being much bigger than the one we just destroyed, they had wooden decks. That is... I would not want to land on a wooden deck. That would be terrible. Enfield mentioned something like 300,000 South Korean troops served in Vietnam. This is true, Enfield, and my father, again, if you take a look at my channel, somebody can post the link. He actually does a series called Vietnam War Stories on my channel. He gets to do it, you know, about once every 2-3 weeks. When I catch him, we meet up for a bit. And essentially, he said that the South Koreans were probably the reason he's alive, to put it lightly. So he has a lot of respect for the South Korean troops. Here we go. Yes, another hit, and I didn't think we'd actually get that one, but we certainly did. We've got our Dauntless here. Now, this is a bomber. This guy's not made to take on enemy fighter planes. So I'm actually going to go ahead. We're going to hit the CA Mogami. Yeah, baby. This is where things get interesting. Obviously, we are really in a naval battle now. Open fire. Yeah, they were. I mean, I don't know if this... I wish I could give you guys a few stories. I'm not sure if this stream's appropriate for them. We need to keep the stream family friendly, as you guys know. So that's why. But again, I'll put some links. I'm sure somebody could put some links to my Steam and YouTube. And very possibly after the stream, I'll go over there and play something, and we can all discuss Vietnam a bit more at length. But more importantly, anybody have any information on this particular Battle of the Coral Sea? Because quite honestly, this is one battle I know very little about, and I'd certainly like to be informed of more. So if we could steer the discussion that way a little bit, that would be awesome. I know. I hate to be the arbiter here, but I have to be. Okay, here we go. We got the Kingfisher. I'll have him land on deck. He's really of no use anymore. What? Land! Wait a minute. There we go. Alright, and then we'll get the Devastator out. Thanks so much, Comrade Luxembourg. Yes, this is true, Plastic Gangster. There were a lot of issues like that. I guess I'll give you a quick story here, and that is, let me make sure we moved everybody. Believe we have. Yes. My father was a first lieutenant, and you'll be able to see the story if you take a look at the YouTube channel. He's got a lot of stories, some violent, some not so violent. And on one particular night, when he had to go behind enemy lines to retrieve a dump truck, an ARVN officer was coming from the other side, and as you know, ARVN officers did hold seniority over lesser American officers, and he forced my dad to move an entire convoy of trucks to the side of the road so his tiny little Jeep could get by before nightfall. So, yeah, he had pretty bad experiences with ARVN troops. Much better experiences with South Korean troops. Alright, now we have to keep in mind, guys, the enemy is also approaching from the north. I'm trying to really hit these guys hard first and then focus on the north, but we still have to, worry about them. Also, I want to make sure that Port Moresby is completely defended. If I could do some sonar sweeps, I will, but I think we're good here. Let's go ahead and I'll actually get these guys closer to Port Moresby. Right there. Make sure that people inside feel safe, and we shall end the turn. Hopefully the Japanese won't treat us too badly. Maybe treat us with kid gloves. This is a good question, Firefly Boy. Why dive bombers are not effective against ships. One thing that's interesting as well is apparently... Have we run out of fuel? Is that possible? I don't think so. No, we're fine on fuel. Alright, we'll end the turn. Unless it's talking about this. Thanks, game. Alright, here There we go. Oh man, that was vicious. That was vicious, despite that being a bomber right there that just got away from us. Well, actually, we were attacked by a 0, but that was a vicious attack there. And now they're striking at our aircraft carrier guys. So far, at least they haven't done any damage, so that makes me feel a little better, but we need to be very careful here. And it looks like enemy troops are approaching Port Moresby. It's time to react, and react quickly. This is where I'm really worried. I mean, we can lose our whole fleet besides the carrier and be fine. If we lose at Port Moresby, then New Zealand is finished. Whoa, what is that? That thing looks terrifying. He's firing torpedoes at range, getting pretty exceptional hits there. Whew. Alright, so the enemy is focusing entirely on our battleship. We've got to come to its aid. We can't forget we also have some submarines over here, which we could use, and we have another battleship, the Colorado. I'm going to move him a bit closer here. And we're going to start going to work on the northern Japanese fleet. Now, I really do want to open fire on this unit, but I'm not sure if we can do anything but suppress it a little bit. Let's do it anyway. Those guns should be able to do some damage, don't you guys think? And we're going to go over here. I'm going to see if we got to still fire the torpedo at the ship. Beautiful, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and see if we can hit them with something else, perhaps. In fact, we can engage these guys directly. Let's do that. Let's see if we could do more damage with the torpedo. No, actually we'll do more damage just with our guns themselves. So let's hit them. How dare they think they could ever stand up to the mighty American naval forces? We could actually take this guy out in one shot, but I'd rather do more damage to the actual CA Mogami. 4, that's absolutely wonderful. I'm going to see if we have anybody else back here that could do some work. We've got this submarine, and we know exactly where to send him. Alright, the Devastator. The Devastator. It sounds like a ride from Six Flags. Have you ridden the Devastator? Unfortunately, he is a bomber. I was under the impression he was not, and that's too bad. So he's not going to be able to do much, but this guy can do a lot. Let's see if the DD Gleaves can go ahead. Now, I could open fire on this ship, because he's almost dead anyway. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. And let's see if the fighter plane can finish this off, the Wildcat. And if he can't, I'm actually going to have him chase one of the enemy fighters. I don't need these fighters bullying me. I'd also love to hit the enemy bomber, but we don't have that option right now. Beautiful. Let's see. Can we open fire? We certainly can. Another enemy ship goes to Davy Jones' locker. That's what I'm talking about, boys. I'm actually going to move the DD Gleaves right next to this guy and see if we can't launch a torpedo against him. We certainly can. Oh, yes. Thank you, thank you. It's a glorious day for the Navy. Okay, move these guys in and actually land this Kingfisher. I didn't even, in the confusion of battle, I didn't even actually fix this Kingfisher. And apparently this guy, I didn't know this, guys, but apparently this guy can actually land right here on the New Orleans. So the New Orleans apparently has some ability to hold planes, despite not being a cruiser. It's pretty cool. All right, let's try to get this guy his much-needed reinforcements. It's going to take a long time, unfortunately for him. And can we finish off this ship this turn? I think we can. Sending in the Dauntless guy as the bomber. Yes! Target destroyed. And there we go. Another enemy ship down. We are utterly kicking ass here. Now, we still have the enemy ships here to worry about. We're going to take one of them out right now just from some beautiful fire from the New Orleans. Say goodnight. Let's go ahead and take a look at this New Orleans. We have 2 ships named the New Orleans? Really? Is that possible? I guess it is. The North Carolina's already opened fire with his batteries. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to take a look at your comments real quick, guys. Sorry, I've been focusing on the battle and the fight. But I will be jumping into look and read very soon. Let me go over here, and we need to immediately start opening fire on these guys. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Look at this. This is crazy. I'm going to see if our torpedo could do some damage against it. Apparently not much. Now, the good news is these are destroyers, not transport carriers. The bad news is there are a hell of a lot of them. And we may need to bring this big boy back. And this is where we really need to try to break through and send some of our ships westward to counteract these attacks. Right now, it's not looking good for us. I think you guys would agree. They're getting too close to Port Moresby, and we're too far away from it with the rest of our fleet. So I may need to just put caution to the wind and keep steaming forward, really. Hopefully we can hold them off a little longer. I think we're just going to have to let the rest of our guys fight off these enemies by themselves. We've got to send some support to Port Moresby. Make sure we moved everybody. Everybody! Okay. 1 second, guys. They have certainly tricked us, and they've got their main force here, while they're making us think that this is their main force, especially with that weak aircraft carrier that came in like a kamikaze and just got itself blown up. Yeah, these guys know what they're doing. I think you've got a point, my friend. The Kingfishers, let's see. I could repair them. I don't really know if I should. But we'll go ahead and we'll repair them. Why not? Make sure all our planes have moved, and we shall end our turn. I hope it's not too late to save the port. Nice. Yes, our aircraft carrier is going to open up there. No way he's going to take a beating like that without fighting back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Say goodnight to our submarine. Oh no. Oh no. We've lost a sub, guys. I wonder how awful would it be to die in a submarine. Probably wouldn't be very good. So they're really going for our subs right now. Oh my goodness, look at this. The main Japanese force is truly approaching, guys. So far, all the Japanese shots are missing. Let's hope they keep doing that. Oh no. Oh, nasty torpedo strike there. And that was just by a destroyer. You're going to launch another round against me. Wow. Things are looking dire. So as you can see, they're putting all of their power in destroying that cruiser, and they're probably going to succeed. Wow. Unbelievable. All right, we're going to do what we can, but you know what? Looks pretty bad. Finish him off. Let's see how much repair we could get to this guy. We could only repair one. I'm going to send him all the way back to Port Moresby, believe it or not, and hope that he can get repaired a little more there, and I think he might be able to, maybe not. But if he gets attacked again, he's finished. Let's take a look over here. We'll send the rest of these guys over. might be able to catch them in the rear right before they launch the attack, because we are getting closer and closer, and at this point, I'm basically ignoring that northern fleet as much as I can just to get to Port Moresby on time. Forward! Full steam ahead, men! Anyway, guys, we are getting close to that time where, that unfortunate time where the stream does have to end. So if any of you guys have any questions you want to ask, feel free to drop them down below. Let's open fire on this little bastard. And we'll send the Devastator towards Port Moresby as well. Got another enemy fighter plane over here. I'm not going to worry too much about him. But I could assist my destroyers. Nope. Can't do it. We can't stop. We know the plan now. We cannot stop. Now, this guy can still open fire, so I'll go ahead and at least give him a shot. And actually, we can open fire on the enemy plane. I don't think we'll get a hit, but it's pretty funny anyway. Nice. Alright. Got the Dauntless. He can certainly land. And we still have a torpedo, or excuse me, we still have a submarine. So I'm still going to try to use it without submerging, or excuse me, emerging. Let's launch a torpedo. Oh, come on, it's going to be at least 1 damage. Alright, let's see if we can finish this guy off. 3, 1 more shot and he's dead. But I'm going to keep moving forward before firing the shot. And let's finish off the Mogami. Yes! And of course, the only real benefit to destroying this ship is it can't attack us later on as we approach Fort Moresby, but it's still going to be a problem, these destroyers. You know, they're still going to get in our way. I'm going to go ahead and end the turn here. Actually, let's move this guy up a little more. Oh boy, torpedo attack! Torpedo attack, I knew something was weird. That's what you get for trying to attack our destroyer. Actually, now they're going straight for our aircraft carrier, guys. Don't want this. We managed to fight off their attack pretty well. That's what Crossfire's all about. Not bad. We didn't manage to get a single hit, but at least the guys are aware that things are occurring here. Another torpedo attack by a new cruiser. I mean, the Japanese seem to have endless cruisers coming from the north. Oh, that was neat. Wow. Doing an exceptional job right now, and if we don't get some reinforcements, we're in trouble. Okay. Anyway, guys, make sure to put your questions down below if you could. We're going to go ahead and get started. Well, I should say. I mean, at this point, that's their best bet, just to surrender. Now that we have these 2 battleships, they can't win. Oh, now you're doing a little bit of damage, you bastards. Damn torpedoes. I was about to say, if that 1 unit did damage to me, I think I would have had a fit. Another set of torpedo rounds. And damn, those did 2. So they're doing a lot of damage to our guys with the torpedoes, obviously. Battle stations. Intercepted radio communications indicate Japanese reconnaissance aircraft have discovered the position of our carriers. Wow, man your battle stations. And we just got a commander enlisted, Jason Ward. We can actually have him command one of our units. I think I'll drop him on our aircraft carrier. Or actually, to our Wildcats. I'm going to have to bring our Wildcats back home. And right now, let's get the Dauntless out there. At this point, I'm going to just try to keep a constant stream of ships near this guy. Actually, I couldn't do a sonar sweep like that. Should have waited. But we'll keep this guy over here to the south. Obviously, this is going to take up some time on our attempts to attack the enemy. Alright. Yes, we have found their invasion force. At this point, I'm going to try to hit one of them with a torpedo. Wow, and this is a supply ship, guys. Stopping Japanese supply is key. There we go. A little supply destroyed. This guy definitely needs more ships, but we don't have time for all that. So let's move up. 3 more hits. Supply ships are made out have a ton of oil on them, so one torpedo strike is enough to send them plummeting down. We can actually open fire still with our New Orleans. Nice try anyway. The tables have turned, my friends. Still got these guys. We'll get them out of here. We're still getting hit by the enemy. That's one thing I don't like. There we go. Did a little damage to their carrier. Maybe they'll think twice about firing on us. Now let's use our torpedoes. Should be able to use them. Hold on. Yes. Boom. Awesome. At least now the enemy knows that they've got more to worry about than just our other ships. And I'm actually going to moving this guy close to use the torpedoes of our destroyer as well. Not bad. Alright. Everything looks good from here. Oh, the Devastator. I thought this guy could bomb things. Possibly not. Wait a minute. Oh, he's a torpedo bomber. Oh, damn it. I should have known this. That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, hopefully he can still be useful. Let's go ahead and open fire here. I'm really just going to try to weaken these ships so that they're basically useless. And we could finish off one of these guys, why not? They're all gonna be sinking in Port Moresby Bay. Alright, let's get over here. Seems pretty good so far. The only thing I'm worried about is my aircraft carrier. That's the one thing that bothers me. Alright, so we definitely have a few Japanese submarines back here. I'm glad they're focusing on our cruisers and not our carrier. And I can deal with that. Right, they're definitely focusing on our, they're doing what we wanted. They're focusing on the ships that we don't need and the ships that we essentially tried to get them to focus on so we could keep going towards Port Moresby. So this is good. The longer these ships can hold out, and it's not going to be long. In fact, one of them just went down, the better. I might even emerge with the submarine just to force them to attack. their cruiser's getting awfully close. Ouch. As much as this guy annoys me, I'm not going to fire at him right now. Okay, let's actually see if we can use this plane properly this time. So I'm going to go ahead and fly here. Now, yes, the fact that he was able to get away from all those shots is absolutely amazing by itself. And let's see if we could take out the Mogami here. That would be awesome. So sorry, Japan. Yes, Mogami down. So we got that cruiser. We don't have to worry about him. Thank goodness.